This is my garage.
How's it going, guys, and welcome back to my garage. Alright, so yes, today's episode might be running a little bit late because kind of got sidetracked with a couple of other things in real life. But as you guys can see, I've been messing around a bit with the wagon over here, with the adjustable suspension, and we also got some custom wheels, or not really custom wheels, but some aftermarket wheels. We can call it that, I guess. Alright, so I still need to swap over these two on this side, and just gotta see what it looks like. Now, where the heck did I put my wrench? I did have a wrench here somewhere. I've been kind of messing around with these things. Alright, so there it is. I did put it back in the toolbox. Alright, so we're quickly going to just swap over these two wheels, and we still need to air them up, because it's a bit of a mission to get to the valve stem of these. I'll show you guys in a second where those are located. Alright, so if you look at the badge or the emblem on the wheel, it's pretty much over here somewhere. Had to like get a little bit creative to get it, but there we go. That is where it's located. Alright, so if you are looking for the mod where these wheels can be found, they are compatible with the URP version, so that's at least one mod that didn't break. Alright, so let's just get this one mounted. So yeah, as I said, if you wanted to get your hands on this mod, there is a link in the description of this video to the Discord where you can download it. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. Alright, let's just bring the toolbox over here, then we at least know we can put everything back in a toolbox. Alright, so other work we still need to do to this thing is take it over for a paint job. That is going to happen hopefully today. And we also need to still work on the engine. So I'm going to be turbocharging this engine. So we're going to see how that's going to work out. And also just do a rebuild on it. Because I think the engine in that car or Dyno vehicle is going to go into the other wolf over there on the lift. So that is what I'm planning. Also going to be putting a turbo on that one, just to give it a little bit more power. Okay, so yeah. Just one more up. Come on, where is it? There we go. Alright, let's quickly do this one. Let me just see where the thing would be. It's also around the top here. Alright, last one. But there's obviously some clipping with the suspension. We've got our front shock absorber going through the rim. But there's nothing really we can do about it. Unless if we put spacers on the thing. Let's just adjust our position a bit here. Alright. I think that is it. Okay, and just one up. There we go. So that is perfectly aired up. And I think these wheels actually suit this car a lot. Better than the stock ones, considering the lowered suspension. And I did mess around a bit with the painting at the front here. We painted the bumper the same color as the fender, because I'm going to be painting this car the original color, which is this 46, 46, 45, which is also the color that I made the insert of the rim. So it looks a bit different because we selected the chrome option for that. So, but I think it actually looks pretty good. If you stand over here, it actually looks pretty mean. So yeah, what I need to do now is get the engine removed from this thing, which is going to be a bit of a bear with the car sitting on the ground. But it is doable, guys. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can knock this out of the park. Alright, let's come down over here. You know what? Let's make our lives a little bit easier. Where's that floor jack now? I put it over here. Okay. Just lift it back up again. Alright, that should help us get to that transmission bolt down here. Okay, so we got that one already, and this one needs to come off. Let's also take off the exhaust. Alright, come on. And we can actually inspect all of the parts while we are at it. Let's come around this way. Okay, we still needed to undo this bolt on this side. I think there's one here. Yeah, that is the one over there. And we didn't tighten up the engine bolts over there, the engine mounts, because we still needed to take this thing apart anyway. And I still need to buy a radiator. What else do we still need to do? The fuel line which is over here somewhere. As I said, with this update, everything looks a little bit different. So it's kind of a whole different game to play now with this update. Okay, but there's our fuel line. So everything seems to be more or less 60% on this engine. Alright, let's undo that. And what else was there? The ground cable. It's got to be around here somewhere, and that is going to allow us to pick the engine up. Alright, so the engine block is 96%, which is a good starting base for us. Because we don't want to make this thing perfect, but we've got to take this thing apart in order to get it sorted. So let's start stripping it. So, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff not doing very well on this engine. We can tell just by looking at it. Okay, I'm going to need the toolbox here anyway, so let's just bring the tools over. Oh, come on, grab the bloody toolbox. Alright, so I already bought a new transmission. That's a 5-speed going into this thing. We need this for the air filter lid. So everything that we need to replace, I'm just going to chuck it on the floor. Let's make this table our table for good parts, which we are going to be reusing. But yeah, if we're turbocharging this thing, we need to replace this anyway. So might as well just chuck all of this on the floor then. Okay, so let's take off this intake. Taking off the intake. Alright. Come on, there we go. 59%. So yeah, everything is kind of worn to that extent where it's not really bad, but it's on its way out, if you ask me. Alright, so there's our fuel pump. We'll also do some HP parts on these engines that we're going to be building for both the Wolves. So it's kind of going to be the same thing twice in a row. Those are 70%. You know what? We'll pop these on the shelf. They can still work at least. Let's see. The fuel pump itself is also not too bad, but we are going to buy a high performance one. Okay, let's start at the front here. We'll take off this fan. Yeah, see, everything is worn to hell on this thing. So it's a good thing we are doing this. Socket wrench. I think that's how you take these things off. So these are the injectors. These are the glow plugs. Yeah, diesel engine things, you know. Alright, what is this one doing? That's a injector, 91%. Okay, you know what? We are going to replace these with HP ones. I think you get HP ones. We'll see. Some of them are going to be bad, so yeah, we'll just get a new set of these, but I do want to check them. Alright, that one is also good. So these can actually just stay on this little table because we're going to use this again. Or some of these maybe again at some point. I don't know. It all depends on the other engine we take out of the donor car, if that's going to be a good engine. Alright, there we go. Last one. 67. Yeah, it's a little bit bad. So we've got basically two that are still decent. And can we grab these? Glow plug, 40%. Here we go. 48. How's this one? 90%. Okay, we'll just leave that over here. Sometimes it's hard to grab these things. 70%, that's not too bad. We'll just keep it around. Alright, 64, we'll just chuck those. Everything below 70% at this stage is going to go in the bin. Okay, so that can stay over there. Alright, let's continue stripping, guys. There's a whole lot of stuff to do on these diesel engines. That's our relay. Glow plug relay is still good. I don't know if there's an HP part available for that, but we'll see what we can find. So far it looks like we are going to be rebuilding the whole engine. Okay, how's our oil filter housing doing? That's 93%, so that can be reused on this engine. Okay, let's maybe start over here. What is cooking here? This is our fuel filter. A diesel filter. 64%. We need to replace that. This is our power steering pump, I think. Yeah, it's got bolts on this side as well. Okay, so that comes with the belt. 57%, so that needs to be replaced. That's 50%, so we'll replace that. Right, what else do we have over here? This is our kind of like an arm. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I worked on a diesel engine, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. I think that is actually part of the timing cover. Alright, let's continue with the timing parts at the front. Crank pulley, 77%. We are going to reuse this on this engine then. This is our belt tensioner. 50%. Can we grab this damn thing? Just put it over there. Alright, what's next? This is our water pump, I believe. Let's just undo that as well. I think that comes off. That's the alternator. 46%. Yeah, 46%. That's a bit bad. Okay, now how does this come off over here? Okay, we've got a bracket on the side, which is our alternator bracket. We'll have to replace that. Alright, so this is our what's it called? Water pump, yes. Yeah, that's the water pump. 43% by the looks of it. Okay, so we're gonna have to replace that anyway. Alright, let's start stripping off this timing cover. I think that'll come off just like that. Timing cover is not bad. We'll put it on this side. We're not going to use it on this engine, but we'll keep it around because I might actually do another diesel engine build for one of our pickup trucks. We'll see. I might consider changing that one into diesel because I've got a little bit of a plan for this engine in this one. So we've got this 318. Okay, it's actually picking up the wolf now. We've got this custom build 318 in here with an EFI system now. Can't pick up the pickup truck. There we go. 318 cubic inch V8. So that engine is going to go into our ramp truck over here, which has got an inline 6 in it at the moment. So I'm going to be swapping the engine with that one then in that truck. And then we'll build a diesel engine for that truck over there. So stay tuned for that, guys. There's still something that's going to happen on the channel. Eventually, I don't know when, but we will see when we get to it. Alright, now we need to take off this rocker cover, or they call it a cylinder head cover. Okay, can we take this timing chain off yet? I think we can, yes. Okay, so that's actually weird. We were able to take that off without removing this whole thing here, but okay. As I said, let's not question it. Okay, so let's take off this exhaust manifold because this needs to be replaced with the turbo one anyway. Which will also give us a better idea of what the condition is of this part. If we take this apart, it's actually not too bad. That is bad, so we'll replace that. This air filter is actually not bad. We'll just leave it over there. Alright, exhaust manifold is still good, but we are going to use something else on the turbo engine, so that can go on this shelf over there for now. Alright, let's take off this camshaft. Yeah, the camshaft, guys. These bolts are a little bit hard to get the right spot. But you can clearly see the camshaft is worn. So a lot of the parts don't appear to have their worn textures. Okay, well, don't really have to take that off because it's bad anyway. And these things, you can't pick them up with the wrench. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. Let's take off the starter here. Starter is still good, so we can reuse that on this engine. Okay, what else do we have here? We've got our crankshaft pulley. Crankshaft sprocket. Yeah, that's not a pulley, that's a sprocket, Funcle. Okay, so 95%, that is still good. Yeah, we're just going to take off the oil pan and drop the whole crankshaft with the pistons, because I'm quite sure that'll be relatively worn considering the engine's condition. Alright, you can actually see the crankshaft is bad. We are going to be swapping it with a HP one. The oil pan is also a bit bad, so I'm going to buy a new oil pan. Okay, let's take off the whole crankshaft. As I said, it's going to be quick and easy to do this. And I'm not too sure if there's going to be anything I want to reuse on here. Yeah, we might actually... You know what, let's just do it real quick. We'll just unbolt everything. I'm not going to take off the nasty parts. I'm just going to call it nasty parts, the rusty stuff. Just going to leave that onto there. Looks like our clutch plate might be shot, but it's a bit hard to tell. Yeah, that is actually good. Clutch plate is bad, as I suspected. Let's check the flywheel real quick. Okay, the flywheel is on 86%. That crankshaft is shot. Let's just check the pistons we took off. So that's 86. 66, this can be replaced. 66% again. And that one is 75%. So we've got two decent-ish pistons. Okay, so we'll put those over there. What else do we still need to take off here? The cylinder head. Okay, let's get this cylinder head off. And now I think this engine is completely stripped, if I'm not mistaken. As I said, it's been a hot minute since I worked on a diesel engine. Cylinder head is relatively good. And the engine block we know is 96%. So just do this real quick. Just double check it. Yeah, 96%. So that is good. We can build our engine onto this. This cylinder head, I'm going to put this on the shelf. Just want to see if we have got a performance cylinder head. Alright, so let's do a little bit of shopping here. Okay, so let's start at the top. We're going to need the starter. We need a new fuel line. I haven't replaced the wires yet. I think the camshaft sprocket was good, but I actually wanted to start at the bottom of the list. See if we can find some HP parts and what it's all about. So we've got forged pistons, but that is from EST Bananas mod. Got the stroker crankshaft. We've got some different engine blocks. I'm not going to get into this paintable stuff too much. Paintable valve covers, paintable alternators, drag fuel pumps. Okay, let's just try and stick to base game parts, more or less. Racing clutch. Yeah, I don't want to go too heavy into the modded stuff, but we've got a HP cylinder head. Intake manifold HP. I think we want to get the turbo one. Valve cover, badge, full paint. We're going to get one of those. You guys are going to see what that looks like. We've got the air filter, which we didn't need to buy because I want to get the whatchamacallit, the turbo setup. How many do we need of these? 1, 2, 3. I think I bought 6 of those now. Let me just see what the heck's going on here. Okay, we didn't need to buy this. This was actually not supposed to be bought. Yeah, you gotta keep your... yeah, you gotta just know what you're doing, guys. You gotta focus on what you're doing if you're buying parts. So this is the relay. We've got 6 of those. Okay, so we bought those glow plugs. We're not going to buy that engine block because we've got one. Let's buy this. And we'll get a new battery while we're at it. Alright, we need 6 pistons. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. HP camshaft, HP crankshaft. We already bought the gas tank. I did fill it up as well, guys. I did that off camera. Intake manifold for the turbo. We'll get the new fuel pump. We'll get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. New belt tension. I bought the new gearbox. Alright, we've got the engine fan there. It's a little bit hard to remember what parts were good, so let me just have a quick glance over here. Alright, everything except a few bits there. You know what, if we end up buying stuff unnecessarily, so be it. Can almost come and build this engine over here. Okay, we don't need any of this. We're gonna need a new head gasket. Glow plug relay we bought. The performance one. Fuel pump we bought the performance one. Fuel hoses, I think we'll buy that. Get that. Exhaust manifold left. Yeah, we don't need any of this. Might need that. Get a new alternator bracket. New alternator belt. Alright. Yeah, let's just go ahead and buy everything brand new. New exhaust. We still needed to get the radiator and the hoses anyway. And this is what we need. We need to get the turbo, air filter, the header, and all of that stuff that goes together with that. Alright. Flywheel. We bought the new flywheel. We've got crankshaft sprocket. Did I buy this yet? I can't remember now, but we'll just get it. And did we buy a starter? I don't know. I can't tell. It's hard to tell. It's like everything is under there. So let's just get another one because we might need another one anyway. So, alright, guys. Yeah, that was quite a bit of shopping. Okay, so let me first of all get this out of the way. This is going to be our radiator that we can pop straight onto the car. As I said, I don't want to use the lightweight one because in the past I struggled to get those things mounted. So just going to go ahead and avoid that altogether. And the car's still sitting up on the lift, on the jack. Wish it was actually on the lift because that would have made our lives a bit easier here. Okay, and while we are at it, let's also just remove the gearbox. So I think the drive shaft bolts are still loose. They aren't. And now we are getting stuck in the engine bay. Okay, we are not stuck in the engine bay anymore. Alright, let me see if I can get to these bolts over here. Is that going to be something we can do? Okay, here they are. 1, 2, 3. There goes the gearbox. Alright, gearbox 4 speed. Okay, so that we'll just put over there. Let's grab this one. Gonna quickly come and put this into place. Okay, so then we know at least that change is done. Now get into the car. Right, we'll just come and tighten up these drive shaft bolts once again if we can get to it. Come on, I know it's there. Okay, we'll just use the no clip mod. And if we tighten up both of those, yes we have. Okay, so that part of the job is done. Alright, now we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Over here, we've got a crap ton of parts. I need to figure out what's going where. Okay. Here's our new battery. Here's our new crankshaft. Okay. Yeah, this is a bit of a mess. And let's just put that over there. And what are you doing? That is so weird. Alright, let's start with this. We'll just put this together here for now, because we are kind of more or less in a good spot to do this. Okay, that's our camshaft. Okay, zip all these bolts down. Come on. As I said, guys, these things are a little bit hard to get the bolts to actually get tightened down. They are a little bit finicky. Okay, and I want this. And some parts you can't grab with a spanner in your hand, so it makes it a little bit difficult. Okay, where's the crankshaft? Let's go pop the crankshaft into this engine block. Okay, let's go around this way. There we go. Alright, this engine is going to make a crap ton of power. Alright, you know what? I actually think let's do it like this. We're going to grab the pistons. And let's just grab a bunch of other stuff we can actually pick up here. Okay, the backpack is full. Alright, let's bring this over here. Okay, let's put our pistons in. Some HP pistons. Okay, there we go. And it's already 8 o'clock at night. So yeah, as I said, the time scale has definitely been changed. The time is moving a bit faster. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. Okay, let's just check. Are those all of the pistons in? Yes, it looks like it. Okay, now we need more parts. Let's grab a head gasket. We'll grab a bunch of stuff here. Fuel line can actually just stay here for now. Okay, where's the oil pan? Okay, we are going to need the oil pan as well. So let's put the oil pan on, seeing as we are done with that. Yeah, this is definitely not a very economical way of building your engine. I should actually consider moving the table, the catalog table here somewhere, and then just buy the parts like that. Alright, that goes on the cylinder head, which will probably be the next part we install. So let's grab the cylinder head here. Okay, and we need the head gasket. Okay, let's put the head gasket onto there. Alright, now we need to bolt it down. Are there only 6 bolts on this thing? Looks like it. Alright, let's get our valve cover on. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is the paintable valve cover. Let's actually have a look at this thing. So that is that. What is that? That is not showing up. Those are the bolts. Okay, you know what? That was supposed to be chrome. I don't know if it's the wrong valve cover I bought or if that's just going to be the way it is. I think you get a different one that is chromed. So yeah, I may have bought the wrong one because I would have liked to have the one with the chrome on it. But you know what? It's okay. This is going to be a car that I'm going to probably not sell to anybody. It's going to stick around in my barn or around the shop, depending on what I want to use to drive around with. Okay, so there's our belt tensioner, which cannot go on yet. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we bought a whole bunch of parts that is kind of unnecessary now. There's our water pump. Can any of this go on yet? Yeah, we can start putting these things on. Alright, where's second bolt over there? That can go there for now. Turbocharger, we'll have to wait with that. Injectors. Okay, we still need to go and get all of these installed, which actually, yeah, it would have been easier if this thing was off. So let's go ahead and take that off again. Okay, we'll just drop it on the floor. Let's get some more parts from here. We'll pick up a bunch of stuff. Okay, the wires main can stay here. That can stay here. This battery shouldn't be on the ground, actually. Okay. Alright, pick that up, pick that up. Pick up everything. Oh, we've got 2 starters here. Okay. How many stuff can we still pick up? Okay, nothing. Our backpack is full. Okay, let's get these things in. Oh, come on. This needs to go on here somewhere. Just got to find the sweet spot for it. There we go. Well, technically, you should have actually put that on. Oh, crap. There goes the power steering pump. I should have actually installed all of the glow plugs to make this realistically. And I think we need a bracket or something for that. Okay. Timing chain. Can this go on yet? I don't think it's supposed to go on actually, because we needed to have this thing on first. Yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts to be taken, and technically we shouldn't have been able to install the valve cover before the timing chain. So yeah, a lot of things that doesn't really make sense if you ask me. But you know what? Let's just get this done. This is an extremely tedious thing to do, putting these things in. All these little glow plugs and spark plugs and thingies. Tiny little parts, guys. We are missing a glow plug. Did I not pick all of them up? Okay, so there's some more over here. Let's just grab some more stuff here. Okay. Backpack's full. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see over my steering wheel, so I can't always see what I'm doing. That's the last glow plug over there. Let's get our socket wrench. Okay, zip these down. Okay, all 6 of those, and now we can get a bunch of other stuff installed. Okay, let's do it like this. Where's the wrench? Oh, there it is. Okay. Just make sure we bolt everything down. Okay, what else do we have to do still? Injectors. Okay, so these need to go in. Okay, 1, 2, third one. And there's the 4th one. Okay, so the other 2 were already installed. As I said, I'm always all over the place when doing stuff. But you know what? As long as the job gets done, who's going to really question it, you know? We still needed some more parts from here. Let's just grab some more stuff. This can come over this way. Gonna figure that out in a second. Okay. Is this our new alternator? Yes, it is, but we need the bracket. Okay, let's see what we've got in our backpack here, guys. That's our clutch plate. We bought a new flywheel. So there's our flywheel and our pressure plate. I didn't buy a new one of these, but... Or did I buy a new one? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, we're still going to need this. Right, this can just chill there for now. We've got our air filter for the turbo. We'll just put that over there. This is our fuel hoses. This can go onto the HP fuel pump, which is over here. Come on, there we go. Alternator bracket. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so that can go onto there. Where does this... Oh, this side. Okay, of course. Alternator belt. That's going to go on later. We've got this pulley that goes on here. But once again, guys, I don't think this is supposed to go on before the timing cover, which is in our backpack. How weird is that? Yeah, you can definitely put this thing together by any means necessary. Could have sworn there was another bolt back there. There it is. It's hiding over there. So it's just going to make your life difficult in bolting everything down if you do this whichever way you want to do it. Okay. Nothing else in the backpack, so we are good. Let's see. Here's our alternator. Okay, so looks like we've got that. Okay, let's get our belt on, which can't go on because this goes to the power steering pump. Okay, I think we've got all of those. Yes, we do. I haven't bought the new oil filter housing. Okay, you know what? Let's just use this one. Okay, but this should be able to go on now. And so should this actually go on as well. Here we go. Alright, let's start getting manifolds onto this thing. I think this goes over that side. There we go. Slowly but surely we'll get there. Okay. I still needed to do this. Okay, let's get this onto here. Okay, so that is sorted. We need the oil filter. And the oil filter lid is over there. Just spin this engine this way a bit. Okay, we still needed to install this. What the heck? Why doesn't it want to go on? There it goes. Okay. Why did I want to put it here? Okay, well, you know, let's not worry about it. Alright, so I think we still needed to install this. Yeah, that is a very important part of the operation here. Missing parts. Alright, let's get this onto this side. Just button bash the living crap out of it. Okay, what's next? This will be the turbocharger. That goes onto there. And we need this air filter, which can't bolt down like that. It's over there. Okay, and then we need this. This goes onto the turbo here somewhere. There we go. Now we just need to get our flywheel on, but we've got the aftermarket lightweight one. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of cleanup to do after this episode. Here's our flywheel on. Let's get our clutch plate on. Do we still... Yeah, we do still have oil. Okay, so it should be good. Alright, let's get this in. Alright, clutch pressure plate tightened down. So I think that is everything. It looks pretty good. And what the heck is this thing doing? It's all possessed again. Okay, you know what? Let's not worry about it. Let's just pick up our tools. And I think our engine is done. Let me just have a quick look at this. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's grab the wrench. Gonna take this beauty off. There we go. Let's get you into the engine bay. Okay, now we're gonna bolt everything down. Hopefully I remember all the bolts. Okay, we're getting major lag installing the engine. Alright, so yeah guys, I don't know, maybe drop some comments down below if you guys are also playing on the Europe version and you get a crap ton of lag when you install an engine. Because for me it's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know, it's like a 20-second freaking lag spike that I had over there. Which is, it's definitely not normal. Okay, let's see what else we are missing here. We've got that bolt over there. It's very hard to work on this thing, considering it's sitting on a jack stand on the one side, which is actually not necessary anymore. But okay. Just see what else we still needed to do. We need our ground cable, but I'm actually doing this the wrong way now because I need to replace the wires. Okay, so let's take the battery and the wires and everything off of this thing. Okay, so there's our battery, which is at 70%. It's not too bad. Okay, let's undo that and need to undo this again. Okay, so there's our wires. 62% with our exhaust and fuel line there. Let's just put it down. Okay, now we need to grab these things over here. We're going to need all of this. And we'll also get our exhaust installed. Brand new muffler. Okay, now we can get the wires installed. Oh, come on. Okay, put that back into there. We also need to go and grab the battery still. Okay, but let's just bolt everything down. Yeah, I don't even know if I missed anything now because I've been kind of all over the place. But I think we are good. We just need to do this side. That one. I think I've got all the transmission bolts. Yeah, those look good. Okay, did we tighten down the alternator? Let me just make sure of this. Yes, I have. Okay, that looks good. Ground cable. Looks good. Okay, fuel line. Fuel line needs to go in. Somewhere over here. Okay, there it is. Fuel line. Let's bolt that down. Okay, and now we can actually get our battery installed. And then I think it's only going to be some fluids. Let's maybe grab these while we are here. Might need to go and grab some more coolant. I don't think I've got enough then. Because those radiators actually takes a little bit more than 2 bottles. I think, yeah, more. Yeah, it takes a little bit more than 1 bottle. Where did I put the battery? I put the battery on the table over here. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's get this battery in. Alright, and zip it down and zip it down. Okay, now we can put our wrench somewhere where we are going to struggle to find it again. Okay, let's lower this thing back down. Okay, get you out of the way. Alright guys, I'm quickly going to fill up the oil and the coolant. The brake fluid we did in the last episode by means of swapping the whole brake master cylinder from the one of that car. I'm just going to run across the road quickly and grab some more coolant, and I'll bring you guys back up to speed once I've filled up all of the fluids there. Alrighty guys, so we're just busy filling up the last bottle of oil here, and any second now it should be done. There we go. Alright, so let's just check the dipstick. That looks good. We've got the coolant topped off as well. Let me just show you guys. There you go. So that is pretty dang good. Alright, so the only thing that I still need to do to this car in order to get it fixed up completely would be the paint job. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to take a drive over to Middletown, over at the service center. Let me just quickly tint my windows as well, because I decided we are going to tint them nice and dark. This is window tint 3, which usually was a little bit darker than what it appears now. So yeah, they definitely changed a bit of things with the new update with regards to window tint. Because if you tinted your windows with tint 1, you don't really see a difference. So yeah, and I also still wanted to buy some license plates. So I think that's maybe one thing we could do. You know what? Let's actually grab ourselves a screwdriver from our toolbox here, because we are going to need to screw the license plates down. Come on. Okay, and just wanted to check something. It's supposed to mount to the tailgate over there. Okay, so it does. Yeah, that actually still works. Alright, good. And we're going to have to take a little bit of a nap. That's maybe too much, but we'll see. If we need to nap again, we'll do that. There we go. Starts up, no problems whatsoever. Alright, let's take this thing on a little bit of a cruise over to Middletown. And she makes a lot of power. I can feel it. Alright, let's just use this camera for a second. Just have a look at this thing. Look at those wheels. They actually fit quite well, although they are super wide. They clip through the front shock absorbers. But there we go, guys. That is our wagon completely built. We just need to stop here for some license plates. Alright, first camera. Okay, turn that off. Let's grab some license plates. What are we going to make this this license plate of this thing. Let's call it, give it a nice name here real quick.
They are packed outside.
I wonder if the word I'm thinking of is going to work out. I've got 6 letters. How can you go back? You can't go back from clicking, as now you have to go through all of it again. Alright guys, let me do this. I'm going to quickly see if I can set up this license plate for the wagon. Then I'll bring you guys back up to speed once we are ready to get them mounted. Alrighty guys, so we are ready with our license plates. So this is going to be the license plate for our wagon. It says M Wagon. So using a 4 as an A and a 0 as an O. I think that actually kind of works out. Alright, let's just grab our license plate. Put that onto there. Oh, come on. Alright, and over to this side. Just gotta zip it down. And that is perfect. And we'll just put our wrench. You know what, let's just put it in our backpack. Alright. Let's get this thing fired up once again. We're gonna make our way over to Middletown. We are going to get it painted up real quick in its original color. There's the handbrake. Alright, so I'm going to put you guys in a little bit of a time lapse for this drive. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Got my hands on daddy's keys. 1973 Camaro in the driveway waiting there for me. Whoa, iron and chrome calling me home. Iron and chrome, that's all I need. 4-barrel carb and American steel. Hear me thunder, Mopar hard, tearing these back roads apart. Iron and chrome, iron and chrome. Mustang boss on Friday night, Challenger burning bright. Big block Chevy screaming loud, making mama lose her mind. Oh, iron and chrome, never alone. Iron and chrome, that's all I need. 4-barrel carb and American steel. Heavy thunder, Mopar hard, tearing these back roads apart. Iron and chrome, iron and chrome. 350 small block, 446 big block. Super B and GTO, that's the only life I know. Oh yeah.
Alrighty, so we made it over to Middletown, and we are obviously going to have a bit of an issue getting up this this hump over here. So I'm going to try and see if we reverse this thing on, if it's going to make it. I've got no idea how this is going to work out. Might have to end up pushing the car. There we go, we've got it on. Let's just try not to wreck the damn thing. Alright, I think since we are here, I might try and get it up on the dyno as well and see what kind of power this thing makes. So maybe you guys can also drop your comments down below. How much power do you think this thing is going to make? I'm thinking around about 800 maybe. Let's see. Color code is set, so we're quickly going to get this thing painted. What the heck is going on with this little car? Yeah, that doesn't look right. Interesting. But okay, let's get ourselves a paint job. And there's another thing I wanted to check real quick. So did this thing do the base coat, clear coat and everything for us? Because I painted this bumper myself. We've got a little bit of orange peel effect going on here by the looks of it. I don't know, maybe it's just me. No, it actually looks the same all the way through. So I wonder if this thing is polished. Park car and booth, change color in car info to be desired, one paint service center. So yeah, it doesn't look like it stipulates anything about doing clear coat or anything like that, but yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks decent, guys. So I don't know, what do you guys think of my M Wagon here? So it's M Wagon standing for Mercedes wagon, obviously. Alright, let's get ourselves seated. We're gonna fire this thing up. I want to quickly pull it up onto the dyno. Alright, let's see. Let's just use this very useful camera. There we go. We are off, and now the question is, are we going to make it on here? Come on, why do you got to do that? Alright, you know what, let's just go into neutral. Okay, is that going to work? Hopefully. Okay, now we need to go back a little bit. Alright, put it in neutral. We'll just get the handbrake up for a second. We could probably leave it running. How much diesel do we have in this thing? Oh, it's still full. Okay, yeah, I remember now. I filled it up. Okay, so let's quickly pay for the dyno. Dyno is over there. Okay, let's get this puppy strapped down. Alright, let's see what she does. Okay, foot on the brake. Get our handbrake off. Put it in first gear. Idling at 116 horsepower. (1,017 horsepower). Okay, so I was off by about 200 horsepower, guys. That is actually pretty impressive if you ask me. I mean, 1,000 horsepower on a diesel engine with a couple of base game stuff. Not really base game stuff, because the Thumpy Parts mod actually came into play here a bit, but I'm actually happy with that, guys. It actually turned out really well. Okay, now the only thing I'm going to do is get this thing hopefully off of there. It's gonna require a little bit of pushing. Come on, push it back. There we go. Okay, let's get ourselves seated once again. And now we gotta get this thing back to the shop. Hopefully safe and sound without any problems. Alright, so let's get back into that time lapse. I think this time round we're gonna do a third person view for you guys, so here we go.
You know the sound that rung below. Hear me power, watch it go. 68 Charger on the road. Big block thunder, heavy load. Steel and chrome, American made. V8 heartbeat, never fade. Muscle bound and built to run. Four-barrel fury in the sun. Detroit thunder in my veins. Mopar madness can't be tamed. Rev it up, let it roar. Rev it up, give me more. Detroit thunder, that's the way. Detroit thunder every day. Yeah. You feel the pull, that torque's on me. 70 Q to forest green. 446 pack, hear it sing. Quarter mile, the king of kings. Chevy power, LS might. Mustang stallion, pure delight. American muscle, born to race. Freedom written on my face. Detroit thunder in my veins. Mopar madness.
Alrighty guys, so here we are back at the shop with our beautiful Mercedes wagon. Now I think this thing turned out pretty well. I'm not completely convinced that the paint job is perfect, because it looks like we've still got a little bit of orange peeliness on the roof. What I noticed now on my way back here, it looks like it still needs to be polished. So let's maybe grab our angle grinder real quick. Where is it? It's probably over here in the toolbox. Alright, let's just grab it. We've got our polishing disc on here. And I just want to see if there's going to be any difference. Yeah, you can clearly see there's no polishing done to this thing. So I'm going to have to do this myself, by the looks of it. Alright, so just as I suspected, this thing wasn't polished in the paint booth. Okay, well, you know what? That's not too bad. So it looks like we can actually do this relatively quick. It seems to be doing the thing a little bit more in bulk now than what it used to do. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see with the torch on. Yeah, looks like we're going to be buffing all of our cars that we get painted from now on. But as I said, it looks like it's actually picking up a body panel at the moment. It doesn't just pick up the small little pieces it would in, for example, if you were grinding rust away. Alright, you can see there on the hood. I don't know if it's really showing up on camera, but or on the recording, but I can clearly see a difference. Just by doing this, it actually it polishes it. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad now. Alright, well, just gotta keep going a bit here, guys. I think it's definitely getting there. Alrighty, well. Yeah, I don't know if we got every single spot on this thing yet. And there's no polishing mark here, so I don't know what that's all about. We still got a 1-star color condition missing. Might be because of the wheels or something on the engine bay. Well, that has been painted as well, so I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I'm not going to question it at all. But I think this roof looks a little bit better. I think that actually does it. Alright. Well, there we go. That is our Wolf or Mercedes wagon. A little bit polished, and I don't know if it's perfect, guys. I don't think it's probably perfect, but to me it doesn't have to be perfect. This was just a little bit of a trial run for myself to see if we can actually convert a convertible two-door into a wagon, and what you see before you here is one of that conversions, or one of those conversions rather. Let me just get my terminology correct. So yes, guys, I think that is going to be a wrap for this video. It has been a little bit more than 1 hour. It's definitely been quite a big job getting this thing put together and getting it to this point where it's pretty much fixed up. So yeah, guys, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And also, I had to ask, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. And then I will see you all in the next one.
This is my garage. Wheels keep spinning on the highway. Good things happen in the driveway. Having good days with the good boys. I don't think that I'm leaving today.